As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff and Booner. It is Tuesday, July 29th, and we are back. A day that was pretty big for the Detroit Lions, right? Scrimmage today, ones on ones. And we were there. So we'll break all that down today. We'll get into our takeaways from the scrimmage. I came out with a video today breaking it down, but we're going to get into me and Booner really breaking it down. There's stuff I didn't get to in the video. And then we have Nolan Bianchi joining, who covers the Detroit Lions for the Detroit News. He'll join in about 13 or so minutes to give his takeaways as well. Again, we're covering training camp. I believe we're doing a really good job. If you're tuning in for the first time, subscribe, turn the notifications on, because we are covering training camp, and obviously we cover the Lions. But this Thursday, Hall of Fame game, it's going to be fun. We'll be doing a watch party for that as well. But there's a lot of stuff that came out today from that scrimmage. A lot of takeaways to get to. We'll get to it, 8:15, 8:45. We'll get back to it. And then we have some other storylines to kind of get to, talk about some individual players. But pack show today, Boone.
I'm pumped up. It was a fun morning. We were up bright and early. We were up super early out at Allen Park trying to see what was going on. Luckily, once we got there, it was kind of crazy. We pulled up, and then all of a sudden, Dan Campbell was like, "Hey, we're doing a scrimmage today, and it's not it's not the bench guys; it's the starters that are out there scrimmaging." So that was kind of a treat this morning. We got to see the Detroit Lions do their kind of first scrimmage of the season, unscripted everything. It was really, we got to see John Morton for the first time play calling. We got to see Kelvin Shepard and his defense unleashed. So when I say like scrimmage, they were tackling. The only person that wasn't getting tackled was Jared Goff, which he did actually get tackled at one point.
He did get tackled.
So yeah, it was a legit scrimmage today. It was fun to watch. I think, Jeff, I know we're gonna get into it a little bit. I was thinking about it throughout the day today. I didn't there was a lot of things to take from today's scrimmage, but at the same time, it's like, take it with a grain of salt. That's right. Kind of what I took. Once we left and I started thinking about it a little bit more as the team kind of started progressing, it was like, okay, that was John Morton's first time play calling, with this Lions team. So, they have had camp for a week, but they haven't unscripted game situation called plays. So, yeah, I'm pumped. Hey, I do see in the chat too the Purple Prince. You want to bring that up, Jeff?
Let me see. Yes.
I love a good "I told you so" moment.
Well, it is. Well, it isn't the same injury, but it's an injury. Taron Arnold, he did walk off today in practice, and it was confirmed that it's a hamstring. It's not the strained calf, but it is related, I guess, in some way. It's the leg. So you got a hamstring injury. I know you mentioned before the show, he posted on his Snapchat and said he clarified a hamstring.
Yeah. So he put on there, and it was hamstring here. I can see if I can pull the tweet up real quick. Give me a second, just so we have.
Yeah, that happened. It happened during the scrimmage. He walked off. Doc put it specifically confidently, but yeah. I don't think it's I don't think it's the worst form of a hamstring injury, but it is an injury. So that is unfortunate. I don't know if it's the same leg, like Coach Walk. I don't know that.
How do I add this to the stage? It won't let me.
Let me do this. There you go. Do it now. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So he posted us on his Snapchat. I guess this is a good way to find out, hey, what is the injury? It's carry on selfie, hamstring. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he walked off. So it's not again, it's not like Al said, it's not like serious, but it is some sort of tweak. So that is not good. It's gonna be fine for the season, but it's never a good thing when Taron's been battling too. He went the last 2 days. He's been a little banged up just in general. I mean, it looked like yesterday he did something to his wrist and then he got right back up and he was fine. And then today the hamstring. So he needs to be rested for a little bit. Get that man healthy. We got the Hall of Fame game. He ain't playing in that. They got camp on Sunday. I wouldn't. He shouldn't participate on Sunday. Like, just let the man just.
I don't know if it's possible, Jeff. Yeah, especially with the calf, because and shout out Easy, we were with him there today again, and yesterday when we were there, me and Easy looked at each other and we saw him out there limping, and we were like, okay, is that the calf irritating itself again? And then today you could tell there was something going on as well, and me and Easy are like, get this guy out. Like, why is Terrion out there still? And then he plays a little bit more, and then obviously gets hurt, and now it's a hamstring. So I don't know if it's a correlation of the calf to the hamstring. I have no clue. Just at the end of the day, especially with that, it's just, dude, from the jump, I told you today when we were on our way back, you have a strain or anything like that, especially at that position, and especially when we essentially know what Terrion is at this point. Like, he's going to be one of your starting corners. Give him a week. He should have never came back the day after from that calf strain. Take a week off, get healed up, and even though if it's a hamstring, maybe that the correlation's there. Who knows? But you need to just let him get some rest, man. At the end of the day, that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, he's showing a lot in camp already, so it's not. You want him to get reps, but it's not like he's still it's not like he's a project player where it's like every rep matters. Reps matter, but he's already shown he's much improved. Just rest him a week or two. It's not the end of the world. It'll be fine. I did see this too. So Zadarius Smith's nephew's on the team. Jackson Meeks, wide receiver. They asked him about Zadarius Smith because he's probably the right guy to ask about Zadarius Smith coming back to the Detroit Lions, and this is what he had to say about it. He said, "I don't know what he's going to do, but I've been begging for sure." Lions wide receiver Jackson Meeks on the return of Zadarius Smith. He said, "I've been begging." Begging is crazy. I mean, he's recruiting. His own family's trying to recruit the man. And we'll get into the defensive line today as well. I think there were some positive things to get into with the defensive line. Obviously, the Zadarius Smith stuff still kind of lingers, and people are still going to talk about it. But, I mean, you got family recruiting. So, Lions fans, don't worry. All right, you have his own nephew trying to get the man back on the roster. So, we'll see how that works out.
You would hope that this thing happens.
Puts in a good word. Yeah.
Honestly, when we saw today, like defensively, they look good. So adding Zadarius to this defense, if Davenport's healthy, that's a scary dude. That is a scary defense. So I hope this happens. I hope, honestly, not even just Davenport. If they bring in another edge rusher, Jeff. Yeah.
I mean, they look
good.
They look good as a unit. I know yesterday we talked about Keith Cooper last week, and he had an offsides today. He jumped.
Who got him to jump?
Hendon Hooker.
Cool.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker got him to jump off sides. But there's guys that are still kind of developing. Keith Cooper is obviously one of those guys. He's a UDFA, but just the depth in general, even though they don't have Levi Onwuzurike, like there were some positives from the D line, like Marcus Davenport. Like we'll get into it more, but I thought he had overall a pretty good day today. Like objectively, I know there's narratives. I know there's narratives out there, and people want to live by the narratives. And this guy just stinks. No, he actually had a pretty good day today. And Keith Cooper, by the way, I'm not saying the offsides thing means he stinks. He actually's had a pretty good camp, but it's just like there's some inexperience that they're ironing out. But yeah.
And I mean, you got guys like on the second team, like Ahmed, who's like you definitely know needs to, progress a little bit more, and he needs to develop, and you need to get him kind of going. Those are kind of your backups if guys go down. So you do, I think, in my opinion, like you definitely do need to go out and look at options still, even though they looked good today. You don't want to be stuck in a position where one of those guys goes down. You don't have depth. You don't have an insurance policy. That's a problem at the end of the day to me. That's a big problem.
Yeah, I know L says Davenport 8 sacks, book it. Getaboy 1 says I need my daily Dominic Lovett update. I didn't really I don't know if you noticed. I didn't really watch too much of Dominic Lovett today.
He's good today. I did.
Yeah, there's a lot. I was paying attention to some other guys, but
he had a couple plays, and he actually too. This is actually, and you actually remember this, Jeff. I'm sure he was doing punt return and kick return, which that's Khalif Raymond's job, right? That's Khalif Raymond's job. Dominic Lovett had I think it was a punt return, and he returned it for a touchdown. They blew him dead at the middle of the field, and they acted like he would have gotten tackled, he would not have gotten tackled. He would have ran. It would have been a punt return for a touchdown. So special teams wise, he's not going to be a punt returner, kick returner because you have Khalif. But if there's days where Khalif can't go, or you want to kind of get Khalif Raymond some rest, or vice versa, Dominic Lovett is a special teams guy. And there was another moment too in the scrimmage where something happened. I don't know what happened, Jeff. I don't know if you saw it, but something during the special teams where Dan was telling someone to get on or get off, and Dan flipped the switch, just started screaming at someone, and Easy said it was Dominic Lovett. And he was like it was like we're in the stands. It was a noticeable 30, 40 second long, yelling at someone. And I heard it going on and I didn't look. And then I look over and Dan Campbell's walking away from the situation. And it was that was Dan Campbell screaming.
Yeah.
The whole facility heard it. And then Easy was he was yelling at Dominic Lovett. I was like, what did he do wrong?
I'm an idiot. I talked about Dominic Lovett in my takeaway video. Of course I noticed Dominic Lovett. I guess it just didn't come to mind. But yeah, that I couldn't remember if that was yesterday or today. But it was today. He had the nice return. He's super shifty. That's what you notice with
quick, man. He's so fast.
Super shifty. He's like a little joystick. He's out there.
Yeah.
He's
kind of like a Khalif Raymond. I mean, I hate to.
No, yeah.
He's like a younger Khalif Raymond, honestly.
He's intriguing for sure. So that is true. And then he got chewed out a little bit by Dan, but overall he showed some things today. So, which I've been a fan. One player I have not really noticed a ton of is Dan Jackson. I just haven't really. And maybe we can even ask Nolan about that. But that's one player I just don't have a read on. I haven't really noticed him. Whether it's for the wrong or right reasons, I don't know. I just haven't really paid attention to pointing out. I know there's other safeties that I've been watching. I haven't seen too much of Dan Miller. So
Dan Miller, I didn't see him much today. Or Dan Jackson.
I did see Dan Miller.
Yeah,
I did
with Kirk Gibson. Kirk Gibson and Dan Miller out on the field just hanging out together. It is so cool. Dude, it's so sick just to see just some of the legends just on the field at camp. You just never know who you're going to see or run into. Even if you're just walking with the public, guys just walking, just see Kirk Gibson and Dan Miller just chopping it up. You're like, whoa. The other day, we're walking, and it's just Jared Goff's dad just walking next to us. And it's just it's just you're amongst the people.
Yeah, Dan Miller walks around there. That guy is royal.
He owns the place. Rightfully so.
Yeah, no, he does. He does. He's got some more around him. He's got Kurt over there. I mean, he's making it work. So
did you notice who people might not know this? Dan Jackson, safety. Kirby Joseph out, knee situation. Dan said today.
Well, that's what I was saying. I don't know. I haven't.
Did you see who filled in for him though?
Yeah, it was a mix of Avonte Maddox and Hallett.
Avonte Maddox was more. It was more Avonte Maddox than it was Hallett. Hallett had run. Avonte Maddox, it felt like, was out there majority of the time. So that's the versatility, I think, with Avonte Maddox that you're able to grab.
Yeah, I don't. Again, it's not a. I don't have a takeaway from Dan Jackson in a bad way, but yeah, that is. We'll see what happens.
Do you know who's playing nickel today?
No,
it was Hallett. Because that's why you kept seeing that just hit me, because I was sitting there going earlier today when we were watching. I'm sorry, this is real. You guys are seeing this real a lot. I'm putting this together. I saw Avonte on the field back in Kirby's position. You got to see Brian Branch and Eric Hallett was on the field as well. And it was a situation where I was like, oh, all three on the field. And then I completely, for a moment, blanked out that Amik Robertson has been out. He's not playing at the current moment. So with that, I think it was Eric Hallett that was playing nickel, and they had Avonte Maddox back there with Brian Branch.
Yeah, I mean, Nick B says Hallett's very versatile. I mean, he got some run today. He definitely
plays very well. Very well.
Yeah, Kirby hasn't been there the last couple of days. I think he's dealing with what was reported. It was like
knee. It's a knee situation. I don't think it's anything majorly concerning. I think he's just dealing with I think Dan said in the press conference today, just a little knee issue.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything too concerning, or else they probably would have noted that. But yeah, I mean, overall, and we'll get into the offense defense stuff too. Obviously, the defense had a really good day today. that was this kind of the storyline. We have a segment later I do want to get to talking about that, comparing offense, defense, kind of how the defense looked. But it was nice. I mean, you really got to see John Morton and Kelvin kind of go at it like chess, just an absolute chess match, those two. And then Dan kind of supervising it. But it was nice. It was cool to see that. And then you got to see kind of some of the flavor they each want to put in on each side of the ball. Like you got to see Morton kind of try some things. And then you see Kelvin kind of implement, his own little flavor. They run. It's early in camp, so take it with a grain of salt. But there's some things that they want to keep, like identity wise. But it was cool to see John Morton like, hey, we're gonna take some shots here. We're gonna take some shots downfield.
I think. Are we getting into it right now a little bit with the offense?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, yeah, you can go ahead.
The scrimmage today, just kind of give the people an idea of kind of how the scrimmage went today, at least at the beginning stages. Detroit Lions offense at the start of this, Jeff, and I think you agree with me, they got dominated by the defense the first 3 possessions. Like, defense looked dominant. I think the first possession was like a JMO, like, gets a catch, no carry. The next one, I think it was like a big pass breakup. And then the third one, I can't remember what the second one was, but the third one was an Aidan Hutchinson sack, 3 and out. And then it just kept happening. Like, Hutch another sack. Like, I think Hutch had 3 or 4 sacks in the scrimmage. And defensively, the Detroit Lions defense looked insane today. Like, they looked like they like you said, kind of with Kelvin, he's already been in the building. And they've already have kind of that identity of what he wants to be, how AG was. So it's a little easier transition. But you could definitely tell offensively that they're still trying to figure this thing out a little bit, right? Like, there's like John Morton, I think it was very obvious that was his first time with this Lions offense, like with the full, like, hey, we're there's nothing scripted, nothing, like we're this is a game situation, and he's calling plays. And you could definitely tell with some of the play calls that were made. Offensive line at times in the first 3 possessions wasn't getting much movement, especially with when Jameer was out there. And then eventually they flipped the switch after the 3rd possession. They go score a touchdown, and then offensively it kind of flipped a little bit, and they really couldn't stop the offense with Jared Goff. So I think maybe, Jeff, and this is where I said take it with a grain of salt, and this is kind of where I thought about it. I think this offense is going to be just fine. Honestly, I don't want to take the first 3 possessions today and be like, oh, we're in trouble. It felt like it was, hey, let's get a feel for this thing at first. Like you said, they tried to take a couple deep shots, all of that, and now all of a sudden they, John Morton kind of settled in a little bit. Jared Goff, he noticeably looked really mad on the sideline about how they were playing in those first 3 possessions. You could tell.
They got off. I mean, that defense, dude,
it's crazy.
Them. Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it too. I think part of that's just, the offense. They've been doing installs, or the last pretty much since OTAs. So there's some things they got to iron out. I think the perfect person to bring in and talk about this is our good friend Nolan Bianchi, covers the Detroit Lions, the Detroit News. He's joining the show. Camera looks good, Nolan. All right, you're back. All right, so let's bring him in. He does some great work. First time joining the show, Nolan Bianchi. Nolan, how are we doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I know you guys couldn't see me, but when you were saying I think the defense dominated the offense, I was going like this. Oh yeah, big time. It was big time domination from the defense today. I had them. I was looking at my observations before I came on, so I could try to remember everything. They went 3 and out on their first drive, settled for a 54-yard field goal attempt on their second drive, 3 and out on their third drive, picked up a first down on their 4th drive, but still punted after 4 plays, and then finally scored a touchdown on their 5th. So yeah, it was an ugly day for the offense there.
Yeah,
at times.
It was cool. I mean, the scrimmage, it was awesome because I was talking to Boone about this too. You got to see kind of the chess match with like John Morton and Kelvin, and I would like to get your thoughts on that too. Kind of the offense. I know it's early, it's training camp, it's a scrimmage. You've been covering the Lions, so you kind of are used to this stuff where it's like you're not going to hit the panic button and be like, well, should we be concerned about the offense already? But when you look at John Morton and kind of the identity there, they want to do a lot of things similar. But one thing you have been noticing, Nolan, is they're taking shots downfield, dude. And John brought it up that, they want to see who can do what, who can handle these type of plays. They got guys that can obviously do it. But what have you kind of made to some of the slight little adjustments or John Morton kind of putting his own flavor on this thing? And just, I guess, getting to know John Morton as an OC. What's your kind of thoughts on him so far?
Yeah, it's been subtle. Like you mentioned, that's something we've been hearing basically since he got hired is, there's not a whole lot that's going to change. But we've seen some stuff. We saw it today. We saw a 2 backfield look where they faked a screen to Gibbs. They ended up throwing it to Montgomery, and he's able to go pick up a first down. They're doing a lot of play action rollout stuff, which I like. Somebody tweeted at me that that's probably not a good thing. I don't know that I agree with that, because I think I mean, it's something that Bo Nix and the Broncos did a lot last year. So I think it's just a concept that he likes. But also there might be something to the idea that it's kind of tough to get an evaluation of this offense, because Aidan Hutchinson has just been kind of all over Dan Skipper, and it's kind of been messing some stuff up. I know I brought this up, throughout the preseason, of how in years past it's been tough to get an evaluation of the receivers because the quarterback play has been so poor. I do wonder to some degree, as this offensive line figures it out, and while Taylor Decker gets back healthy, I do wonder, how much of what we're seeing when it comes to the defense seemingly stacking days on the offense is going to continue coming to fruition once those guys get a little more comfortable on the interior. I mean, Tate Rowledge has been shifting from center to guard. Over the first 7 days, he's played three days at center, 5 days at guard now. So, those little things will continue to work itself out, and I think getting Taylor Decker back will be huge. But yeah, no, that's something we've been hearing a lot, is the deep shots. And I actually think Goff has been a little uncharacteristically inaccurate on those throws. I saw it once today, at least. Sam Laporta had a step on Terran Arnold, and he just kind of sailed it a little bit. Same thing happened yesterday where Gibbs was working against Alex Anzalone, had him one-on-one, had him beat. Probably could have gone for a touchdown if he put it on him, but he just put it out of reach a little bit. So those are some things that he's kind of working out. But I would say from an operational standpoint, outside of the inability to block one of the best defensive players in the league, I think they're pretty much showing what you would want to see from them at this point.
Yeah, no, I just want to follow up on kind of one of the points you made there with the offensive line. I had put out yesterday that I just felt like Tate should just be the center, because I always felt like he's going to be the center of the future. And my kind of thought process with it was, don't take the reps away from him. Let him get every rep that he can, because at some point that's going to be him. But then obviously today and throughout this camp with the Pats, it's been Graham and Tate at right guard. And today it looked like at right guard, Tate at times dominated. And I saw him one time throw Tyreek Williams, and it looks like he's comfortable at right guard. Do you kind of get that same feeling that, hey, this is how they're going to roll for the season, at least to start, and they're just going to let this thing play out and let the kind of veteran Graham Glasgow be the center of that offensive line?
I do think it's trending that way. And yeah, that play you're talking about on Tyreek, I asked Tyreek after if he's had his welcome to the NFL moment yet, and he said that was actually the play where he just got completely washed out of the run play for a 14-yard gain. I also kind of thought that when they started training camp with Tate Rowledge at center, that that was kind of their preferred outcome, that was something that they would want to happen. And then over the last couple of days, obviously we've seen Graham there, and I think based on everything we've heard from Morton and from Campbell, it kind of seems like things are really trending in that direction. Even Graham himself, Campbell saying today, I asked him, is there any more clarity on the center competition than when camp started? And he said, well, Graham's been in there for a couple days. Graham's looked pretty dang good. And the more that it looks pretty dang good, the clearer the picture gets. Yesterday, John Morton was saying, it just feels more natural for Graham Glasgow to play center right now. Obviously, he has a lot of experience playing there. And then talking to Graham himself, he was kind of saying that he likes playing center. He likes the challenge of it. He likes the mental aspect of it. And it kind of seems like if they were going to keep Tate at center, they were actually going to keep relying on Graham to maybe make some of those calls and checks at the line. And he said, if that's the case, I'd rather just play center. I don't want to be a guard functioning as a center from that position. So all three of those things kind of working together lead me to believe that that's the way things are heading. It's obviously still early, but Morton was talking about how important quarterback trust is with the center. And that kind of lends itself to Graham as well, because Graham has obviously stepped in a couple times over the last couple of years. So, yeah, I would say full on that's the direction things are trending.
Yeah, I think another big storyline too, man. Isaac Tesla, he got some run, obviously, on those run blocking plays. He's an absolute demon in the run game, but also he's making plays, dude, and he's making plays on these second team guys, and he's just showing I know people were pissed off that I got drafted, but you're all idiots. I'm actually good at football, even though I played at Arkansas. So he's showing skill. He's showing a skill set in camp already. And I know Tim Patrick recently came out and was like, hey, I just have to be better. I feel healthy. And he actually had a touchdown today. But what do you make of kind of that wide receiver 3 role? You obviously have weapons galore. But with Tim Patrick being the veteran he is, he's on a 1-year deal. Could you kind of foresee something, later down, maybe down the line? I know the Lions like to kind of groom guys and slowly bring them along where, Isaac Tesla, obviously injuries could occur as well, where he starts to kind of make some noise his rookie season, because I think he's a player that like physically checks a lot of boxes. I mean, you probably can do a little more because he runs a 4.4, he's 6'4", he can run block and do all these things, he has great hands. But what have you kind of what's been your impression of the 3rd round rookie and kind of what could happen this season? Or you think it's more of a, hey, wait a year and then he'll get more implemented in the offense?
Yeah, that's a great question. He looks really good so far. And, you brought up the comments from Tim Patrick. He's had a tough couple of days, to be quite honest with you. And he admitted that. We talked to him yesterday after practice. I could see really anything happening with this group. I mean, the way Tesla is playing right now has been really impressive. It's funny, like he keeps making these like highlight reel catches, and then they go on Twitter and everybody's like, he's still not gaining separation. And it's like, well, he's still coming down with the catch. Like, I don't know. And there definitely have been times where he has gained separation. He had a really nice catch over the middle today. I think it was like a 3rd down for like 15, 20 yards. So he's looked really good. But another guy, honestly, like I hate to get away from your original question here, that's really been impressing me is Dominic Lovett. And I think he's a guy who might have a chance to contribute immediately because of the fact that he's been really good as a receiver. He's incredibly fast. He's proven to be a reliable target, and then also he's really shown up in special teams, whether it be as a gunner. Today they had him doing a lot of punt return stuff. I don't think that'll be his full-time job quite yet. That job is Khalif Raymond's. He's very, very good at it. But I just think the upside with Lovett, because of the special teams and the wide receiver ability, he could get himself taken to a lot of these games this year, and that's hard to do. And a lot of these things have to work out over the next couple of weeks, and even when the season starts, like not all of it's going to be final. You brought up that they like to sometimes work guys in slowly. That wouldn't surprise me at all. If Tim Patrick started the year as kind of the clear-cut wide receiver 3, the starting X receiver, if you will, and then slowly over the course of the season, Tesla kind of works his way in there and begins having more of an impact. I could also see him absolutely crushing it in the preseason and just being like, well, there's your wide receiver 3 right there. So really the sky's the limit with this wide receiver room. And I just think back to what it was a year ago this time, and going into the second preseason game, I remember I wrote a big feature on like Darius Fountain maybe being the wide receiver 3 because that was what it looked to be at the time. They just didn't have anybody who was standing out. And this year, they almost had the opposite problem where, like, man, you're going to have to keep 6 receivers on this roster because Lovett looks so good. And obviously you can't really do any maneuvering with Tesla or Patrick. So they're in a tremendous spot and where they can kind of sit back and wait for somebody to emerge. But it's different than the situation where they were waiting for somebody to emerge last year, and that whoever does come out of this thing as the wide receiver 3, I think you're going to feel pretty comfortable with in terms of your overall unit that you have going on every Sunday.
Hey, Nolan, were you down on the field? Did you hear Dan Campbell like just ripping someone? Was that Easy? Easy looked at me and said, I think he was yelling at Dominic Lovett. Was that Dominic Lovett he was just going in on?
I didn't notice that, but rookies, they got a lot to learn. They got a lot of operational stuff to work through, whether it just be lining up properly. They're getting a lot thrown at him right now, and especially a guy like Lovett who is playing special teams. He's going to be, I think, an important gunner for them, opposite of Khalil Dorsey. So I didn't hear that, but rookies sometimes they need a little little help.
It was good. It was good seeing Dan just getting after it, though. As we were up in the stands, usually they're on the other side. They were over here, and we were like, "This is what we came to see." I want to ask you I think the best player today, and really probably on this team right now, Aidan Hutchinson. And I know for weeks, as you kind of were in Allen Park the last few weeks watching, and fans weren't allowed in yet, everyone kept talking about, hey, how Hutch is kind of taking another step, and coaches and players are like, this guy is taking another step. And it's like everyone was questioning his injury. I think he had 3 or 4 sacks today. I think it was like 3. And then there was the one where they blew it dead and he was like screaming at him like that was a sack. Can you talk about maybe this whole Hutch situation for fans that are like still maybe questioning, like, hey, maybe this is just hype. People aren't really taking it. No, like we were there today. We saw it, Nolan. That was incredible today. And it seems like you being there the last few weeks, that's what he's been doing for weeks now.
Yeah, he looks absolutely phenomenal. There is no indication in any way whatsoever that this is a guy who was having a severe leg surgery in Dallas just a little under a year ago. You mentioned the stuff today. He's been like when he lines up with Penei Sewell, I'm expecting Aidan Hutchinson to win that matchup. And I don't think that's an indictment on Sewell either. It's just whatever you put in front of Aidan Hutchinson right now, he's going to wreck your day. And I think that that's just super encouraging coming off of the concern that people had when you have that type of leg injury and you have an ankle and bending is so important to what he does. And Dan Campbell said the other day on NFL Network, I think he's bending better than he was before he got hurt. I don't know how that's possible. Like, I don't think it's like a Tommy John situation where like he actually saw some sort of improvement because of the injury.
I got a bionic leg.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, the guy works harder than anybody else in that locker, as hard as anybody in that locker room, as hard as anybody you're going to find in this league. And so it is absolutely no surprise at all that he's kind of come out and reasserted himself as a truly, truly dominant player in this league.
Nolan, last question for me. Listen, whether it's right or wrong, I've been this Hendon Hooker experience. I've been really defending the guy, I get some flack for it. All right. And I've said some stupid things in the past. I think I've come around now and I've lowered my expectations to now he is the backup quarterback, but even that's not guaranteed, Nolan. All right. And I know he's battling with Kyle Allen, all due respect, savvy veteran. He's been around the block. All right. He's done some special things as a backup. He's solid. What have you kind of made of this battle here with Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker? And I guess my take on it, and I don't know if this is a bad take or not. I think if they were not confident to some extent with Hendon Hooker, they would have brought in a better backup. That's what I say. But what say you on that situation? And I guess your confidence just observing this Hendon Hooker, storyline and now Kyle Allen and him competing. Because I think the experience with Kyle Allen could give him the nod, but I still got faith in Hendon here.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, Hendon, they're developing Hendon, right? So I think in the end of the day, if you had to pick, you're going to go with Hendon Hooker, the younger guy. And he's looked absolutely phenomenal. I think people are honestly too hard on him, or at least they were too hard on him leading up to this camp because, I think people think of him as like a third-year player, but he didn't play at all during his rookie season. And he came back from the injury like kind of later in the year. But when you're at that stage of the season, you're only practicing so much. And they just don't have reps to give to the third string quarterback, which he was at the time when Teddy Bridgewater was in there. And, he comes out, he goes to OTAs, his first ever OTAs, and he's got like a broken finger or a dislocated finger on his throwing hand. So like, okay, well, that's all a wash now. He goes to training camp. He definitely struggled with a lot of things. He drove Ben Johnson crazy with his indecisiveness, his inability to let go of the ball, but I think that's normal in an offense that's so timing-based, especially compared to the one that he was coming from in Tennessee, which is just not an NFL offense. And so I think that there was some patience expected, but if he was a rookie last season, like a true rookie, a 2024 draft pick, and he has the camp that he does, and he comes here this year and he's having the camp that he's having so far, I think everybody goes, he's right on track. But for some reason, people just kind of ignore the fact that he had the injury that literally he could not practice his entire rookie season. And so to me, I just wiped that out. To me, he's a second-year player, and all things considered, he is absolutely right on track of where he's supposed to be. He looks so much better this year than he did last year, just with his decisiveness. And he's not just getting the ball out; he's getting it there on time. He's putting it on their chest. I remember last year he kept having trouble with these quick little out routes, where every time he'd throw a quick out route to the sideline, it was getting picked off and taken the other way for a pick six. He might have gotten picked off so far this camp, but I can't recall it. My brain's kind of mush at this point. The days are all blending together, but I don't remember him getting intercepted. And he looks really good. And I think context is important. I think people looked at that situation last year when they brought Teddy Bridgewater back at the end of the year, and they said, "Oh my gosh, this is such a bad sign for Hendon Hooker. This is them admitting that Hendon Hooker was a terrible pick and that he stinks and all these other things." And that's just simply untrue. I think they realized what a special season they were having. They realized how attrition was messing it up, and they said, "You know what? We'd really prefer it if we didn't have our season ended because we had to put in a quarterback who's never played a meaningful snap in his life." And so they went out, they got Bridgewater, they brought him in. He immediately became the backup quarterback in front of Hendon Hooker. And I think people made a lot of assumptions based off that and maybe contextualized by his past training camp process and use that to say, okay, he's not going to be anything. And that's just simply untrue based on what we've seen so far. He looks really good. As far as the competition itself, I mean, it's going to be a tough one. I prefer my backup quarterback to have a little bit different style of play than the starter. So if you got to throw him in a pinch, it can actually throw the defense off for that one game where you're going to play him. So I don't know. I think he's exactly where he needs to be. I would even say he looked better than I could have even imagined. Like I really can't even. I really can't even think of something that you would want to see more from him than what we've seen from him so far this camp. He looks sharp.
Nolan, I have to say, hand up. I was one of those guys after
him,
last year. I'll admit it.
Hey, listen. I am a sports fan. I have so many awful opinions about the teams that I root for, and I'm not saying that's an awful opinion. I don't mean to brag either. But like it was funny. Like I was watching the Pistons Knicks series, and it had like been a while. So I was a GA reporter for a long time, so I covered a lot of teams and. I haven't really been a fan of a team in a long time outside of Liverpool Football Club. So when I came back into the fandom, I kind of thought to myself, watching this game, 5 minutes into the game one of the Eastern Conference playoffs, well, the refs and the announcers clearly want the Knicks to win. And it's just like, just fan brain. And it happens, and I get it, so I don't fault you. I am the same person as the people in my replies screaming things that I don't believe.
Yeah, that's a safe phone.
Trying to figure out a way to separate the fandom and reality. So I do want to ask we had the Hall of Fame game here on Thursday. What are a couple things? Because we actually talked to someone. Actually, I was on the John McRoon's podcast the other day, and he actually asked me this, and it's interesting to think, like, when you are watching the game, Nolan, on Thursday, what are like your kind of, let's say, like top 2 or 3 things that the whole game you're going to kind of be looking in on, whether it's matchups or just kind of guys competing out there in position groups? What are you going to be looking for?
Well, those rookie receivers, for sure, like I mentioned. I mean, Tesla, I think, is probably the guy who everybody's most excited to see on Thursday, and for good reason based on what he's shown so far. Again, I'm not really concerned with the backup quarterback play that we're going to see from Hooker and Allen. So I'm just excited to see how this offense functions and who stands out. I just think back to that Giants preseason opener last year. It's raining. Nate Sudfeld's playing quarterback for all but 2 possessions in the game, and you're like, man, this is worthless. Like they can't do anything with him having the ball in his hands, and that brutal. Was like kind of frustrating as like an evaluation tool. And I imagine the team felt the same. But I'm looking forward to just seeing who pops. Like, in a weird way, I'm kind of watching a little bit of everything. I know it's like kind of a cop-out answer, but I would say every position on the field has room for maybe one guy to stand out, or one bubble player to make it. And it's all just about who is going to be those guys who make it so apparent that they have to be on the team that the Lions have no choice but to keep them around. There's a spot on the defensive interior. I'm really intrigued to see whether or not Pat O'Connor plays tomorrow, because he kind of reminds me of a Kyle Pecco from a year ago, where maybe a little bit of a journeyman in his career. He hasn't been to that many different stops, but he's only played. My co-host on the Gridiron Gang podcast, Richard Silva, just told me the highest number of snaps that he played in a season prior to last year over his 7-8 year NFL career was 103. And that's just absurd. So you kind of go into the season being like, oh, how well can he play? If he doesn't play tomorrow, he's probably on the team. And I think it could be like a Kyle Pecco situation where we're all just like, oh, I guess that guy's on the team now because he's not playing in the first preseason game. So that's one thing I'm looking for. I'm looking at, obviously, the rookies. Ahmed Hassani, he's been pretty good. I don't know necessarily what I expected from him coming into this camp, but I don't think he looks lost out there, which I think is a good thing. And he has made a few plays, gotten in a few sacks. He's obviously been studying Aidan Hutchinson's tape. He's hit a few spin moves. And then the safety competition. There's 4 guys fighting for 1 or 2 spots. Avonte Maddox looks like he's going to play safety. So if you're only going to keep 4 safeties because of this cornerback depth that you have, who's going to be that guy to step up? So far, it's been Maurice Norris. Just based on Brad Holmes' draft history and the way they tend to keep their draft picks around, I was kind of assuming that Dan Jackson had an inside track at that position, but he hasn't really shown much. And so I'm looking at the safety competition with Lawrence Strickland, Maurice Norris, Ian Kennelly, the UDFA from Grand Valley. And then elsewhere, Ennis Rakestraw. I'm giving you like 50 things to watch for tomorrow, so I apologize. But Ennis Rakestraw is another one. There's a couple spots open on the defensive interior. Keith Cooper is a UDFA who stood out. He had a half sack today, split it with O'Connor, also jumped offside. So a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. That's somebody I'm watching on the defensive line. And really the totality of the offensive line as far as the reserves, because I think that's pretty wide open too.
Yeah, I agree. The tackle, that tackle, backup tackle, like Dan Skipper today, man. All love to Skip. All love to Skip.
For sure.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I think everybody knows what it is. That's just he's a really good jumbo tight end, situational. He's a good culture guy, but you don't want him to be your starting left tackle. And I think that's okay to say that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, does it feel like the Giovanni Manu thing, that he's kind of developing a little slower, or did you expect him to be a little bit more ahead of where he's at right now? Because I felt like he should be that kind of tackle number 2 there. It feels like.
Yes and no. We heard a lot about his progress kind of over the offseason and during OTAs and going into training camp, and there's still a lot of time for him to figure things out. But I would say for the most part, he has shown a minor step forward than what it was last year. And I guess I only feel confident saying that because the bar was pretty low based on what he showed during last year's training camp. But again, this is a guy who you knew was going to kind of take this long. And does that mean that you're okay with not seeing progress? I don't think so. You shouldn't be satisfied just being like, well, he's going to figure it out eventually. Some guys don't, but at the same time, this could be a situation where he does need 2 years to really start to understand how to play tackle in this league. And, I don't disagree with you that was maybe a little bit of the expectation coming into this year, is that he could be OT3, OT4. So far, I just don't see it with him.
Yeah. That's another, I don't know why.
But don't panic yet,
I have this thing, Nolan, where I attach myself to players where their stock drops after I attach myself to them. Giovanni Manu.
Nice.
I need to just take a step back, I think. Yeah, keep up the great work, Nolan. I appreciate you staying over the time. Obviously, you do great work. You guys can follow Nolan at Nolan Bianchi on X. Check out his work, Detroit News, man. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Keep crushing.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me. Anytime, guys.
There you go.
Appreciate it, Nolan.
Nolan Bianchi joining the fellas, talking some ball. We're going to get into our takeaways as well because there's a lot. Nolan, he nailed it. He talked a lot about
spot
stuff
on.
he noticed. Yeah, and a lot of the things similar to kind of what we saw out there today, which I guess we kind of talked about it before Nolan joined, but the storyline of the day.
Yep.
Storyline of the day. The defense was just suffocating the offense.
Yeah.
At first. Now later I think they got 2 touchdown drives. One of them was a Tim Patrick touchdown catch, which they moved the ball, and you could tell. As the scrimmage went on, they kind of went back to short game, play action.
Yep.
And I talked about that in the takeaway video I put out today. But early on, it was Jared Goff, hold the ball, wait for things to develop. The O-line, still some things they're working out. He's getting pressured. Aiden's just hitting Dan Skipper with every.
You could tell those first 3 or 4 possessions that they were really just trying to figure out. Again, to reiterate to people, this was the first live action that John Morton and this offense have ever had together. So you could tell that they were trying to figure out comfortability with John Morton getting play calls into Jared. How does Jared want different things? Jeff, do you remember the play that kind of turned things around and you looked at me and you went play action? It was that play action pass after a first down run, a little play action pass, boom, to Amon-Ra St. Brown, open 12 yards down the field. And it was okay. And then what happened after that? you could tell there was a shift offensively, and John Morton started calling more play action. And I think that was when John Morton goes, okay, I'm understanding this a little bit. And they go and score 2 touchdowns, and they get a field goal, and they start that offense starts getting things down a little bit. So the beginning was very rough. I think it was more so, honestly, I think that defensive line, and as much as people don't want to hear this, that defensive line with Marcus Davenport, Aidan Hutchinson, DJ Reader, and Ty Leak, the first couple possessions, Jeff, those guys, it was really your kind of the 7 in the box there with Anzo and Jack Campbell as well. Dominated, like completely dominated. Jack Campbell was everywhere. Anzo was Anzo. And then you have Hutch just, dude, Aidan Hutchinson's the best player on the football field today. And it was like, without a doubt. There's no question about it.
Sacks, and there might have been a 4th one that they didn't count. Or like
the one they were yelling, I remember I said, boys, that's a sack, and they didn't count it.
Yeah, he was. And of course, they were lining him up with Dan Skipper. Like, it's hard for this O-line to. And you mentioned this, like, it's really hard to measure this O-line yet without Decker, because it's tough because they have a clear liability in Dan Skipper.
That's what I was saying today. You can't get a feel fully for this offense until Taylor Decker's back. Like, you know what they are, but you can't judge them completely, because even when Davenport was on that side, like when Davenport was making a play, guess who he's on?
It was Dan Skipper.
It's Dan Skipper.
Like, the interior wasn't too bad. I thought Tate did a really good job at guard. That was the thing.
I didn't think. Oh, you're talking about interior offensively?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just speaking about Tate Rowledge. I thought Tate Rowledge was really. I mean, that you could tell it's his natural position. He was really good at guard. I think
the interior offensive was better than the interior defensive line, personally.
Yeah, because Christian Mahogany too. Like he was working out there. Like Tate Rowledge threw Ty Leak on the ground. Like threw him on the ground.
Right when that happened, and then a couple plays later, Christian Mahogany is pushing Ty Leak to the sideline. Like he was a half a foot from being thrown out of bounds. And it's like, that's an interior defensive lineman, and that's a guard. Like they shouldn't be by the sideline in a play. Like you're probably in between the hashes. This guy is at the sideline. And it was like, I don't know if, and I think Ty Leak's going to be fine. I didn't think personally Ty Leak, like I think run wise, Ty Leak is very, very, very good. The pass rush, that was when those situations occurred, when Ty Leak got thrown. I think it was the pass rush, and I think is when Christian Mahogany literally just manhandled him all the way to the sideline. That was also, I believe, a pass pro play as well. So I think I looked at you. I said, Jeff, like Ty Leak is insane run defense. Like every single time he just swallows the running back up, and you're not getting through Ty Leak and DJ Reader. It's not going to happen. Pass rush, that was a different story. I didn't think Ty Leak looked great outside of a couple run plays. So he definitely needs to step up, and you need to see a little bit more.
That was one of the things that we were kind of talking about, is Ty Leak out there. He overall, just as a rookie, first scrimmage, first training camp, like you expect there to be like moments like that, but what his strengths are, he brought to the table. Like you mentioned his run defense, dude. He, like Jahmyr Gibbs, they ran him in like I think the third play, no gain. Like DJ Reader and Ty Leak absolutely swallowed that run play up.
Yeah.
They didn't even allow him to get. I don't think they even got a gain, like a yard. So Ty Leak is going to be like, I'm excited to see him, and he's
for sure
someone that's continuously developing. I mean, he's working with Casey Rogers, so he's going to work on some of those things. He's athletic enough to be able to figure it out. But yeah, that is fair to bring it up. I do. I mean, I thought the defensive line, just in general, they had good moments, like Davenport in the run game.
Dude, remember that hit Davenport laid on Jahmyr Gibbs?
Absolutely, he rocked Jahmyr.
Yeah. I didn't know if I was hoping I was like, just get up. He decapitated him.
Yeah, he was playing with some grit.
Yep.
He was playing with that forgotten thing in his head for sure.
I'm with you on that. I think the D line though, I think they were really good. Literally the only negative was probably, I think, a few times you could tell like that's a rookie in Ty Leak. Like he definitely he had his moments to where you could be like, if that happens in week 1, week 2. That's they're going to run if they run the ball right through him and he makes a mistake like that and gets thrown out of the way, It's a 20-yard gain, 25-yard gain, or that's Matthews, or who's week one? Packers, Jordan Love throwing the ball 40 yards downfield, or running the ball right through. So that it's definitely something. I mean, it's July 29th, though.
Yeah, it's again, a grain of salt with a lot of these things. But I will say something that I'm not going to take with a grain of salt is Jack Campbell. Like, Jack Campbell's, you could tell he's getting comfortable. I'm not talking about like anything playing. I'm talking about the mental side of it. Like, he's you could tell like they're letting him roll with the green dot. Enzo was out there. They were playing together, but Jack was calling shots. You know, you could tell he was kind of in charge there. And it was nice to see like the live chess match with Jared Goff, audibling the Jack Campbell.
Yep.
Getting guys like, you know, it was nice to see him. Like it's not something he did a little last year, but you could tell like, okay, this guy's a third year guy. Like he looks a lot more comfortable.
There was definitely a couple times too. And I think that's the best thing with Jack. I think the two things that he needed to improve on was, one, he has to get kind of a step closer to how Enzo was kind of making those play calls. And like you said, that chess match, hey, if he could do that, Jeff, and he's in coverage, and he was in coverage for Sam Laporta today, how many plays did Sam Laporta make in the scrimmage today, Jeff?
I mean, he made a couple plays, but it wasn't like,
how many times do you remember him making
he wasn't really.
And who was on him when, and you pointed
Jack
out to
lined
me.
up man to man on him a couple times.
I think Sam Laporta might have had one catch in the whole scrimmage. And I'm not saying that's a negative on Sam. I think Jack is just taking a big step forward when it comes to coverage and when it comes to being the leader on that defense. Excuse me, I got a little tickle in my throat. That's on me. But no, I'm with you on that, Joe. I think Jack looks really good. Hey, people laughed at me for saying this guy's a top 10 linebacker in the NFL and that he'll be a Pro Bowler this year. Laughed at. If you watched him the last 2 days, Jeff, you could say it if you want. Hop on the bandwagon. Come on.
No, I'm not. I'm already on the bandwagon with you this year.
Pro Bowler?
I think
Cartier said I said all pro. All pro. He's going to be a top 5 at the end of the season.
All pro.
That's going to be that's a fact.
I'm not going all pro.
I will. I'll stay on it.
That's you're going to be
Jack looks incredible.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks really good. Yeah,
he was already top 10.
Well, here we go again. You think he's top 10 already?
He was. Statistically, he was already top 10.
PFF, he's
it's a fact.
10. Yeah,
it's a fact. Every single grade, every single stat per linebackers that played a minimum of 250 snaps. Jack Campbell is top 10.
Getting an interception. How about we just do that?
Why is it just he needs an interception to be good?
So you're going to be an all-pro without getting a pick.
You're acting like he's a corner or a safety.
You got to have takeaways if you're going to be all-pro.
You literally, Jeff, you did this to me a couple weeks ago, and I pulled up a linebacker. No, it's not, because I pulled up a linebacker last year that had one interception and was all-pro, and you're acting like it's end-all, be-all. That one interception in 17 games is the one that shows you whether you're an all-pro or not. That's not it. That's just you just trying to nitpick.
100-plus tackles.
Why don't you give him as much of a leeway as you give a guy like Hendon Hooker?
Because he's a first-round pick.
Yeah, overall. But we're talking about all-pro, and you're like saying he needs one interception this year just to be able to be an all-pro. What are you talking about?
He needs turnovers. So, and if you don't think you need turnovers to be all-pro, then I want what you're smoking.
All right, let me see this real quick. NFL all-pros. Let's just. Do you want to do this again? We could do this again if you want.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's go look at the turnovers that the linebackers last season.
You got forcing turnovers for all-pros.
Linebacker Zach Bond.
Oh, go check his turnovers. I'll wait.
I'm just going to go through a couple. He might have them. I'm fine. I'm just going to go look up every inside linebacker. How many interceptions do you think he had?
I'm saying turnovers. How many turnovers did he have collectively?
He had,
forced fumbles and interceptions.
Oh, forced fumbles, he had 5.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one.
And he had 1 interception. But you're saying turnovers, but your whole argument the whole time was, is he going to get an interception?
Well,
is he going to get an interception?
Turnovers. You have to get turnovers if you're going to be all pro, dude.
Who's another one? Roquan Smith?
Yeah, go check his turnovers.
Okay, I will. How many turnovers do you think he had, Roquan? Before I pull it up. Hold on.
I don't remember.
I'm saying like
Forced
he
fumbles,
was
like
he was first team All Pro. How many do you think he had?
Probably like 2, 3.
He had one more than Jack Campbell. Jack had one. He had 2.
Okay.
What about Frankie Louvu, linebacker?
Couple.
He had one more than Jack Campbell last year. Now let's go look at
How many
Bobby
sacks,
Wagner.
by the way, have we going through sacks?
This is you goalposts moving. We're
No,
talking hold on. Time out. Hey, stop talking. Time out. Your whole argument here was turnovers. Now the fact that I'm pulling receipts because you didn't do your homework, when you say that, now you're going into, what about sacks all of a sudden? No, let me pull up Bobby Wagner now.
Statistics.
Let me pull up. We're talking statistics. How many more? Hold on. How many more turnovers do you think that Bobby Wagner, second team All Pro last year, had last season than Jack Campbell?
Go ahead.
Had the same amount. He had 1 forced fumble, 0 interceptions. Jack Campbell, 1 forced fumble, 0 interceptions. 2 sacks. 2 sacks.
Okay, so he
your argument is so null and void, man. Like you're saying he can't do it unless he gets turnovers when he had the same amount of turnovers.
No. I'll ask you. Do you think Jack Campbell? So you're saying all he needs is tackles, he'll be All Pro?
No, I think he just needs to be the best linebacker on his team, and he needs to go out there and perform. He had 131 tackles last year, a sack and a half, a forced fumble, and guess what? Let's just Bobby Wagner. Let's just pull him back up and compare his stats because Bobby Wagner was All Pro last year. Bobby Wagner, 132 total sacks. Jack Campbell, 131.
Tackle.
1.5 sacks for Jack Campbell, 2 sacks for Bobby Wagner. 1 forced fumble for Bobby Wagner, 1 forced fumble for Jack Campbell. 0 interceptions, Jack Campbell, 0 interceptions for Bobby Wagner. The difference is tackles for a loss. Bobby Wagner, 15, Jack Campbell, 9.5. That's your difference there. Pass deflections, Jack Campbell, 5, Bobby Wagner, 4. So, like, you're sitting here pounding the table being like, he needs to go get interceptions. He needs this. He needs that. It's like, dude, he is putting the numbers up, and you can compare his numbers to some of these All-Pro players. The problem is he's not getting the recognition around the league because he's playing with Alex Anzalone, and his defense isn't top 5 like some of these guys.
I think the numbers matter. It's numbers and film. Okay, numbers matter. You have to have the numbers. Tackles matter. I think turnovers matter, along with sacks, along with all the other statistics besides tackles. Because tackles are great. They're amazing. But that's not like Zaire Franklin.
Listen, I didn't bring tackles up once until you did. I didn't bring tackles up once until you did. You're the one bringing it up.
So we agree.
Across the board, the way every stat that Jack Campbell has across the board is comparable to all the All-Pro guys last year.
It's a mix of both. It's film. Would you say Bobby Wagner and Jack Campbell were the same linebacker last year? No.
Bobby Wagner was the leader of that team. And I think this year, the fact that now Jack Campbell is stepping into that role to where you're able now to say, hey, this is the green dot. This is the guy making the calls. And at the same time, he's making the plays.
Okay, so it's going to be a mix of both. It'll be a mix of stats. It'll be a mix of film. And we agree, if you're going to be All Pro, maybe you know what? I'll give you that. Maybe turnovers aren't as significant, but you have to have statistics and you have to have film that suggests. I
agree. Yes. No, I think it's, you have to make plays in big moments, which Jack, he's made plays, but in those big moments, he has to stand out. I think in my opinion, like, especially the linebacker position, you got to stand out, man, especially if you want to be put in this top 5. And there are guys who do have like the stats that are incredible, that are on a different level. Like Fred Warner, just different level. He has it all.
Yes, Fred Warner, different level. Roquan, he might be at a point where he just kind of gets All Pro because he's Roquan. He doesn't have to have. He's just a beast. And I don't think Jack's probably got to prove it and do he's got to have a big year. Yeah, but I don't think
Roquan. Sorry, go ahead.
Go on.
I would say at one point, like, I get what you're saying. This is the thing that I have, and again, I bring this up, not you, but I think people in Detroit have trouble, like, when they see players at different teams and be like, well, Roquan's getting national attention for years. How is he, like, and they're like automatically like Roquan, Bobby Wagner, because of the name, because of the national attention. Take that away, man. Look at the player and look at the film. Jack Campbell plays at that level.
Not at Roquan's level. He's not.
He's going to this year.
Roquan Smith is
he will this year
linebacker in the entire league.
He will play at that level this year, and you will see.
That's insane, bro. Like Roquan, and like bro, we've been watching football.
Roquan Smith's a very, very good football player. But I think there's a point where, like, when does a player finally get put in those conversations?
When he isn't as dominant. And
so you're saying Jack Campbell will just never be put in those conversations? Why?
You can't put words in my mouth. We're talking about Roquan.
But you're saying he's on a different level. And I'm saying, how does he get put on that level then?
He can. But you're talking about last year. He had one more. We were on turnovers. It's like, yeah, but we can agree. Like Roquan, Jack's not the number 2 linebacker.
That's just because you brought that up. Sorry.
Okay, I wasn't talking about Jack Campbell, and I never once said. I'm just going to clarify this: that Jack can't be a really good linebacker. I know you're painting the narrative, but what I'm saying is Roquan. If Jack Campbell is the number 2 linebacker in the league this year, I'll salute it to you.
All right, no, top 5. He's going to be a pro.
Okay, so now he's not. We're bumping it to 5.
No, because again, you saying top 2 is making it sound like I think he's going to be number 2.
You said he can play at Roquan's level. You just said
when I say Roquan's level, I mean the top tier linebackers in the NFL. I think an all-pro linebacker. You're doing the same thing that you're saying I'm doing, putting words in my mouth. I get what you're saying, but my analogy this whole time. Hold on, stop. I'm saying he's going to be an all-pro linebacker from the jump. I'm not saying he's going to beat out Roquan, but he's going to. At what point does he get to the level of the Roquan Smiths, the Fred Warners, the Bobby Wagners, to where you gain that respect around the National Football League? I'm not saying he's going to be as good or better, but to that level, that level of play of a linebacker where people will be like, no doubtably, Roquan Smith's top 5. No doubtably, a guy like Fred Warner's the best in the league. That Bobby Wagner's the top 5 guy. Like it's without a question, right? When does Jack Campbell get put in that conversation? This year.
Yeah, I'm not.
And Coach Walk said, "Why didn't you say top tier? Rewind it from the top, from the beginning of all of this whole argument. This whole conversation started with Jack Campbell being all pro. And when I say he's going to be on Roquan's level, that means all pro.
See, that's a different. If you say he's going to be all pro,
it's the same, man. Don't do this, man, because you just complain. You just complained about me doing that exact thing that you just did. Like, if you're going to complain about it, don't do it.
Boone,
why do you think I do it? Because you're doing it.
Like, if you say a player's going to be at an all-pro level, fine. If you say a player, like, okay, Jared Goff's going to be at Josh Allen's level. Like, I don't say Jared's going to be Josh Allen. I'm saying Jared can be all-pro like Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it came
but you did the same thing, man. It's like you. Okay. It's like me saying. It's like me doing this. What you just got mad at me for doing, and now you just did it right back.
I'm admitting I misunderstood you.
Listen from the jump. I've been saying this whole time. It's all-pro, all-pro. When I talk about at that level, that tier, like that tier where he is looked at as a top 5 guy.
All pro level is what you're saying. Then yeah, that's fine.
I've been saying that from the jump. You're just trying to get me on a gotcha moment.
It's what you said, bro. It came out of your mouth. Like,
gotcha moment.
You're coming at. No, you said it. You said
it's the same thing with you because you literally said something and I called it out and then you go whoa, backtrack.
No, you suggested that I think Jack can't get to that level. I never said that. I just said this year all pro. I don't know. That's all I said. I didn't say he can't be an all pro ever in his career. That's not what I said.
All right.
You insinuated I don't think he can get to that level, which is not true. I
think Coach Walk, Booner's doubling down. Yes, Coach Walk. He's going to be an all pro. You're acting like I'm saying something wrong, Coach Walk.
Yeah, you could say he can be all pro. That's fine. Like, I think Pro Bowl level, fine. If you want to go higher, all pro, fine. You think he'd be top 5? That's fine. But
simple. I've been saying it from the jump.
Okay, here we go again. You can believe. Okay, you said Roquan's level. You said Roquan.
His level, that tier, a top tier linebacker in the NFL.
All right. Yeah. Okay. You clarified it. We're good. We're back. We're back. We're all good. We're all good.
We need another squirrel to jump in your background over there.
No, we don't. We don't need a squirrel. Jack Campbell. Yeah, it's been nice. All right, it's been nice seeing Jack out there. He listen. He looks like Roquan. How about that? Can we break bread?
Okay, okay. I see what you're trying to do now. So you're okay. You just said that. I'm taking that with heart. You think he's Roquan Smith now? Yeah. How does it feel?
Oh my god.
Getting all literal.
I think no, I'm just messing with you. But I will say, can we talk about the secondary? The secondary looked really good. And I know they didn't have Terran Arnold. They had Rocky Sin out there, and he was kind of,
Well, go ahead, Stat.
He was hanging in there. He's doing a good job with JMO, and I thought the secondary overall was really good today. The secondary, the safety group, they had they had Avante Maddox playing safety. Yep. You mentioned earlier, which
they had excuse me, Howlett at nickel.
And they're missing 2 starters, and they actually didn't look terrible. So I thought that was positive. I thought the receiving core was the big thing because, and I said this today, and you mentioned this yesterday, I understand the JMO hype, rightfully so. He's really good, like very good. He's going to have a big year. They're not going to be able to pay him. I agree with all of that. But when they needed to play, who did they go to?
The one and only.
Like, guys, I understand. It's fun. It's exciting. We're looking for the next thing. It's like, well, JMO, it's like JMO's going to be better than Amon-Ra. It's like, and I understand he's got, you might have 2 really good receivers. I'm not arguing that. But can we just like remind ourselves, like Jared Goff's the one throwing the ball. He's built a rapport with Amon-Ra to where it's going to be really hard to like get away from that. Like today, they needed a play, Amon-Ra. Needed a play, Amon-Ra. Like JMO, I think, had some plays where they got him involved, and he had a couple plays. It wasn't anything massive, which again, take it with a grain of salt. I understand that, but you could just tell, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, reliable play action pass, bootleg, Amon-Ra, boom, came down with it in traffic. Like I just don't, especially these games this year where you're in tough games, close games, like that number 14 is going to be the guy. It's just it's what it is, man. You know what I mean? And they can both play really well this year. Or I'm not trying to knock down JMO. He's going to be excellent. But like, let's not forget you got an all-pro receiver, by the way, at Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah. I know Laporta and JMO get the hype, but it's like he's elite. Like
yesterday on the show, we did our takeaways, and you did JMO and I did Laporta, and it was like a ding in my head. And right after, I was like, wait a second. Amon-Ra St. Brown was the best wide receiver and weapon on the field yesterday when we were there. And me and you both came out and talked about Laporta and JMO. But at the end of the day, realistically, we knew who the best player on the field was offensively when it comes to your weapons. It was Amon-Ra St. Brown. And today, it was the same thing. And I told you on the bus ride home or bus ride when we were leaving Allen Park, where it was like, Amon-Ra St. Brown just knows how to get open. Anytime you need him, this guy just finds an opening. And then Jared Goff just trusts him. Like, no matter what, plays breaking down, Jared knows, where's 14? Where's 14? And he's going to make a play every single time. And he's just that's why he's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. He's not a deep threat. He's not. He doesn't have one specific thing that he does. He can do it all. He could be a deep threat. He could be a short range guy. He can find himself open in the middle of the field and just make a play when a play falls apart, and he will get yards after a catch. Every single time they needed a first down today, it was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Every time it felt like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I listen. I think people just need to not forget. How good he is. Like, just not forget how good he is.
Oh, I thought you were going to say people need to calm down about something.
Calm down about what? What were you going to say? What are you thinking?
I was saying calm down about all of the other weapons and like focus a little bit on Amon-Ra. Like, let's not forget about the sun god.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, I'm with you about that. It was evident today. It is. He's so good, dude. He leads every single drill, does it to perfection. And JMO's right there, dude. Like, JMO's actually, and you're gonna have 2 really good receivers. No one's arguing that, but yeah, it is what it is. What do you think about the backup quarterback battle? What do you think about Nolan said? Huh?
Listen, I felt like I had a pretty good feel on the situation when I gave you a breakdown this morning on it. I slept on all the stuff, and I think, was it this morning that I broke it all down for you?
We talked a little bit about it today. We did.
Listen, I've told you I don't think Hendon's playing bad. I think both of these guys are making plays. Every time Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen step on the field, they're making plays. That's just a fact of but the difference is Kyle Allen's an 8-9 year vet, and Hendon Hooker, as Nolan said, he's technically in his second season and second training camp. So he's still learning, man. But the only thing that I said to you, and I'll stand by this, I just think the only thing, and then it goes with Hendon being a second-year guy, Jeff. I don't think anything with Hendon Hooker, I don't think it has anything to do with can he make the throws anymore because he's making the throws in camp. I don't think it has anything to do with his play-making abilities because he's making plays in camp. I just think all it comes down to just being able to run the offense, like, efficiently. and being able to like take charge. And if you need audible to be able to do that and not do it at a level to where it's going to hurt your offense, to where there were definitely times throughout the last 2 days that we were there to where they had to call a timeout, or he's screaming at guys because guys are in the wrong spot, whether that has to do with him or maybe it's the play call that he's throwing in there and it's messing things up. But and it's the same thing with Kyle Allen too. Like, remember Kyle Allen yesterday, pre-snap, the man has 2 or 3 fumbles on the snap, just not ready because he's going through pre-snap motions, different things, and just not focused and fumbles the rock. So I think it's the same thing with both of these guys, and I think that's all it is for Hendon. And if Hendon can get that down, that kind of side of things with the NFL, it's kind of like Terrion with year one, where it's like, hey, let the game slow down for you. NFL side, develop a little bit. You can make the plays. So that's kind of where I stand on it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, as much as the shit I give you, I think it's fair, right? Like, Kyle Allen brings experience to the table. All right. And I don't know what side of the fence you guys are on, everyone in the chat, whether it's Hendon Hooker or Kyle Allen. This feels like politics in a way, like we're picking a side. But here's the reality, all right? Kyle Allen has experience. He's been in different offenses. He actually spoke to the media today. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you go watch it. It's on the Lions YouTube. But he talked about the last 4 years, he's learned 4 different offenses. So, again, that's the mental side, which I think he has the advantage, right, mentally. Because Hendon Hooker, I mean, he's been learning the same offense, which you could argue is an advantage. Now it's slightly different. But it's probably easier for Kyle to pick up plays and understand kind of what John Morton's explaining, right, just because he's seen so much stuff and he has so much experience. But let's get to the physical side. There is no doubt in my mind, with all due respect to Kyle Allen, that physically, Hendon Hooker is more talented. He is more talented physically. And I'm not saying the guy, I mean, like, he just is. And I think the side of it where he's been in this offense is an advantage. Hendon Hooker's been learning it. He's a super intelligent dude. The way, I mean, he talked about it today. Him and Hendon and Kyle both spoke. And Hendon's like, listen, man, like, I feel comfortable. You know, I feel way more comfortable. The timing for me is becoming a lot easier. He's working on ball placement, footwork, which he improved on. And what was the other thing he improved on? Just being more, I guess, of a leader. So Hendon's developing all those things. I just think Kyle Allen's just limited physically. Like, he's just like a solid, you know, he's got an okay arm, okay mobility. Like, I think Hendon definitely has the higher upside. And I like what Nolan said. I just never really thought about it like that, where you like your backup to be a little different. He personally is just his preference, so that way it kind of throws defenses off. But Kyle Allen did mention that him and Goff see the game the same way. But Hendon Hooker's like more of a pocket quarterback too. Like, he can move, but in college, like, he was in the pocket making plays. Like, I think his arm, he has arm talent, and you see that when he's out there. It's just really comes down to like him just catching up, getting used to being out there, commanding an offense, you know, being in game situations, which I think Thursdays, not just Thursday, but the preseason is going to be big for him too. I think that's when I'll have more of a clearer image, but I'm still very confident Hendon's going to take that job, man. Like, he's done a really good job in training camp so far. Like, he has.
Yeah, I think Thursday is going to be the biggest kind of turning point. I know it's just the first week of preseason, but I think you're going to be able to tell who's going to be able to take control. I will say this, Jeff, as much as I have been joking with you about the Hendon stuff, I think Hendon is right now kind of the leader of the quarterback 2 battle. If I had to pick, I would go Hendon. But I wouldn't.
And they're both battling. It's still, you know what I mean? They're both.
Yeah. I wouldn't lock it in yet. Like, I think there's still a chance that Hendon has a couple bad preseason games and Kyle Allen doesn't. Because the problem is I don't think Kyle Allen's going to play bad. He's a vet. He's been in the league for 8 years. And he knows what he needs to do to win a job.
Right.
So he's gonna go out there and compete. And I think that's a good thing for Hendon Hooker, because it's going to show, like, hey, can Hendon Hooker go out there and play and compete? And if he can, it's his job at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with that. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up? I'm looking at my notes here. I think we kind of covered. Let me see. There is something Yeah, I did right here. Hendon Hooker started 3 for 3 on the drive when he came out. I know they didn't end up converting it into a touchdown, but he came out, looked pretty good.
Looked good today, yeah.
There was a question someone put in there. I think it was Coach Walk. By the way, Mike Reed, appreciate the $5. Sorry we didn't look at this earlier. You guys doing a watch party for Hall of Fame game? Yes, we are.
Yep.
And if you guys going to have it at a bar, no, it's going to be probably remote, just like what we're doing now. We'll just be remote for the Hall of Fame. Usually those on the road games during the season. Yeah, preseason's more just remote. So, no, we will not be at a bar. If we were, we would have let you guys know that. But appreciate the $5, Mike Reed, my guy. Coach Walk, did the O-line make Goff rush today, or did he have time?
First couple of possessions is no time, it felt like. And then after that, they started getting more time.
Yeah,
I think the first half of the scrimmage, it was the man he did nothing, and then the second half, offensive line starts stepping up. By the way, actually, I did want to mention this, Jeff, and I don't know if they're going to put anything out or if Christian Mahogany is perfectly fine. He put a big hit. I don't know who was it on Marcus Davenport. He put a big hit on Marcus Davenport late in the scrimmage, and then Christian Mahogany after that. Like, it was a big hit. Like, Christian Mahogany is going to be really good, guys. Like, he's your starting left guard.
Dirtbag
for a while. He is very, very good, and he looks very good out there. But what happened was he put a massive hit on Davenport, and it was a big gain. It was a huge play that he made. Then comes off the field. Looked like he got injured. We didn't know if it was like wind knocked out of him, stinger, concussion. Had no clue. Where he got up, he took a knee off on the side, got up. They had him take a knee again, and he was just sat there on his knee for felt like the rest of practice. So I don't know if that's something that's obviously I'm not reporting anything, but that was an observation.
We saw it. Yeah, everyone saw it.
That was an observation that I had. So I don't know if they've brought anything up about it. The Lions have. So I don't. Press conference probably tomorrow or Thursday, I would guess, and you're going to know a little bit more. But that's something to keep an eye on with Christian Mahogany. He definitely did get some type of injury. It looked like.
So you mentioned Hutch earlier. Did you see Jeff Risdon's tweet? I thought this was very telling. Like, this is a massive thing to say. Like, Jeff Risdon's he's credible. He knows his stuff. He's been covering not just the Lions but the NFL for a while. He's seen a lot of football. All right, and he tweeted this out about Hutch. He said, "I watched J.J. Watt in his healthy prime in person. I've seen tons of Myles Garrett in person." Because he actually covers the Browns too, or he did. I think I have to double check that, but he was doing something with the Browns. Aidan Hutchinson has been as dominant as either of those Hall of Famers over the last 12 months. You never know he broke his leg.
Oh,
J.J. Watt, Myles Garrett. That's the type of that's what Jeff's insinuating he's looking like right now.
Do you disagree with what you saw today and yesterday?
I don't know. I can't speak on like Myles Garrett. I don't know, but I know what I saw, and he's dominant. I don't know how. I can't say like, oh, he's JJ Watt level. I don't know. Jeff Risdon can speak on that. I didn't watch JJ Watt in person. I don't watch Myles Garrett in person, but Baboon, he's dominating. Like, I can say that unequivocally. We saw it in person. We saw it multiple times in person. He's dominating. Like Penei Sewell. Now Penei gets it. Like they go back and forth, but he won some on Penei, man. Like he got Penei on a couple of those. Nasty. And Penei's one of the best tackles in the league.
Yeah. So in shout out Coach Walk. Coach Walk was like, well, everyone's saying they were all on Skipper the last 2 days. I think I saw 2, Jeff. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 on Penei. The one being yesterday, that inside swipe move got to Jared Goff in like 0.2 seconds. And it was in like versus Penei Sewell. I'll say this, Jeff. Tell me if I'm wrong. Aidan Hutchinson, when he went down with the injury versus the Dallas Cowboys last year, he was the best defensive player in the NFL. Correct? At that time.
Yeah. Oh, the pace. Yes. The pace he was on. Yes.
Aidan Hutchinson right now is a better edge rusher and a better defensive player than he was last season when he went down versus the Dallas Cowboys. Aidan Hutchinson right now, Jeff Iafrate, in the NFL is the best defensive player in the NFL. And there is not a question about it.
Oh, my God.
Jeff, this is simple mathematics. If he was the best defensive player when he went down in week 5 last season, and right now he looks better than he did in week 5 last year, and weeks 1 through 5 he looks better. 1 + 1 = 2. It's simple math. I mean, it's just as simple as it gets. Who's better? Aidan Hutchinson was better than Myles Garrett last year in that stretch. He was better than Micah Parsons. He was better than Patrick Surtain. This isn't in ETN in the chat. Here comes the Slappy. This isn't the Slappy. He looks different. And he was the best defensive. This is a fact that he was the best defensive player in the NFL when he went down last year. Is it not? He was clearly going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Correct.
Yeah, he was.
He looks better. He's better. So it's like, are people afraid to say it?
No.
Generally, are people like, well, Myles Garrett? Okay, give me Aidan Hutchinson.
That's the only one I would say.
Give me Aidan Hutchinson going forward. Myles is getting old.
He's like 28.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't care. I want the younger guy.
Yeah, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt.
It's just simple, man. People don't want to. This
I can make the argument, but yeah,
this is the effect, Jeff, of when you in your own city.
Oh,
you
bring that
up. No. This is a fact. This is a fact, man. It's a fan base thing to where you don't want to fully give credit to players because you don't want to sound like the slap. You don't want to do that. At some point, you can be like, hey, you have the best football player in the world. You have the best defensive player on the planet right now. You do. And if it's going to be, hey, Booner's the Slappy, all of that, he's the best defensive player on the planet.
Booner, can I say this? I don't think just because it's not fair to say like, oh, it's just because you're afraid to say it. If I actually don't think he's the best defensive player on the planet.
I get what you're saying, and I hear you very clearly.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
You're wrong.
So I'm invalid.
I'm not saying you. Listen, I'm not. Hold on. I'm not specifically saying you. I'm not calling you out. Have your take. I'm saying fans in Detroit. I've already seen a lot of comments in here of people being like, "Oh, Slappy, this guy." People are afraid to give a certain amount of credit to a player without being a Slappy. It's okay to do it, man. It really is. At some point, you have to do it. And listen, he went up against Dan Skipper and looks dominant. The guy has gone up against Penei Sewell as well for over half of the camp and has dominated Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell.
He's won some. Yeah, he's won more.
Go look at Penei Sewell's stats versus Micah Parsons last year. Go look at me and you brought it up on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he's Penei Sewell, man.
The best edge rushers in the NFL aren't doing what Aidan Hutchinson is doing to Penei Sewell.
Well,
I don't. Yeah. What am I missing?
Well, Myles Garrett. I mean, they haven't faced Myles Garrett, so
I don't care, dude. Aidan Hutchinson this next year is going to be better and win Defensive Player of the Year, hands down.
Okay.
Why didn't Myles Garrett win Defensive Player of the Year last year if he was the best player in the NFL?
He already has Defensive Player of the Year.
So if he's clearly without a doubt, no, give me Aidan Hutchinson.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but would you say Pat Surtain is better than Myles Garrett because he won Defensive Player of the Year?
No, but that's my point exactly. Is Myles Garrett wasn't as dominant last year as he usually is. So why are we all of a sudden just being like Myles Garrett? Stumbled you on that one, huh?
No, I don't. No, you didn't stumble me on that one. That's what the point I'm making is just because you win Defensive Player of the Year doesn't necessarily mean you're the best.
Yeah, it doesn't. But Aidan Hutchinson, when you're at the same position that year, if you win Defensive Player of the Year at that same position over another player, you had a better season. You're better than him.
Okay.
At that moment, he has to go out there and reprove it again. He had a down year. He's not as good as him that year. I'm taking Aidan Hutchinson over Myles Garrett.
I understand that. You know what? That's I think I need to see. I think it's fair to be like, hey, I need to see Hutch put it all together before I say he's better than Myles Garrett. You know what I'm saying?
Have you not? He's put it together. He just got hurt. That's all. He's put it all together. He literally was on track to win Defensive Player of the Year.
He hasn't put up a season with 15 sacks yet. Can we just get there?
He was on track to have a better season than Myles Garrett ever would have had in his whole career.
Well, we have to, again, when I understand that the pace, you're right, but You know what I'm saying? I think it's fair to be like, we got to see him actually do.
People are scared to do it because they.
No,
people are scared to do it.
It's a scared thing, dude. It's like
People are scared to do it.
So just say Goff's better than Mahomes then.
What?
Goff's top 3. If you don't say it, you're scared.
What are you talking about?
Just start giving credit to all these guys then. And if you don't think so, then you're scared. How about that?
No, I just clearly think watching Aidan Hutchinson in the last 48 hours, he's better than he was last year. And last year, he was the best defensive player in the NFL when he got hurt. These are facts. It's not like I'm sitting up here just throwing out crap at a wall. I'm giving you facts. He was the best defensive player in the NFL last year before he got hurt. No one can deny that. If you deny it, you prove to me you do not watch the game of football. He was. In the last 48 hours, what we saw at camp, he's better than he was last year.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if he's dude. He was really good last year. He could still just be at that. Could still be that same player.
Looks like he's better, man.
Okay,
I'm telling you.
Okay, that's fine.
Or Calvin Shepard said it. Penei Sewell said it.
Yeah, no.
Dan Campbell said it.
I think there's something.
And Booner said it. Those 4 right there. Trust it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I see that. Do you think Josh Allen's better than Mahomes?
I know what you're trying to do. I see Klotz in the chat.
Because he won MVP. That's what the people are saying.
But listen, I didn't say Patrick. See, that's where you're trying. You guys are trying to make a point.
No, it's the award thing.
That is not what I'm saying. No, it's not, because I didn't say anything about the award.
You said he was on pace. Like Josh Allen had a better season than Mahomes last year. He might be better.
Dude, Jeff, you literally asked me, is Patrick Surtain a better defensive player? I said no. So you ended that argument instantly. That argument's null and void.
Okay, so
no, I just think watching the game, Hutch looked better. He looked better. Watch the film. He looked. Those 5 weeks last year, he looked better. And then now in camp, what my eyes tell me, these 2 eyes right here, Jeff, seen a lot of football in the day. Those 2 eyes right there are telling me he's better than Myles Garrett. Has nothing to do with, well, is Patrick Mahomes, is this guy better than Mahomes? Is this guy better than this guy? Has nothing to do with any other position, nothing. My eyes tell me he's the best defensive player in the NFL.
Okay.
I should just tweet that out right now.
Yeah. Go ahead. Just go ahead. You go ahead and send that one. I just think I got to give the nod to the 5-time straight All-Pro. But I understand it. I understand you're excited about Aidan Hutchinson. I just think Myles Garrett's he's pretty good. He's pretty good. You're not saying he's not good, but I think he's still there. Let's play. And speaking of other, people are giving him credit. Dwight Freeney came out with his top 5 edge rushers in the league. Let's see where you had Hutch. Let's take a listen to Dwight Freeney.
Let's see. I would say Aidan Hutchinson, man, and that's a surprise maybe to some people. But for me, when I watched him last year and his intensity and how he completely dominates, in last year before the leg injury, obviously, he has a great speed to power. He has a great spin move. He has a great outside move. He's relentless, man. And I love him to being, the future in the future, maybe 5-10 years, a guy that's going to be in this list year in and year out. And let's see.
Okay. Dwight Freeney. Dwight Freeney, he did have Myles Garrett over Aidan Hutchinson. I just want to note that. But Dwight Freeney did have him as the number 2 edge rusher. He had Myles Garrett, Aidan Hutchinson, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa as his top 5 edge rushers. So Dwight Freeney, he loves Aidan. He said all the great things. He's number 2.
I respect it. Listen, I'm not gonna pound the table. Hey, listen, if you want to have Myles at 1, I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong. I think it's up to you. I just think with my eyes, with Dwight Freeney's eyes, he has all Pro Bowl Hall of Fame eyes.
A lot of football.
Yeah,
he's seen a lot of football.
Right. I respect it.
Yeah,
I respect it. But the fact he has him at 2 is just like, I think that gives a little credit to what I'm saying here. Yeah.
Yeah, over TJ Watt, which I don't think we can have that discussion. I think he's damn, especially the year he's gonna have. He's definitely gonna be dominant. So I don't think it's too crazy there. We got the depth chart too by the Lions, which I do want to show the people. Unofficial depth chart. We posted on our social media. You should be following us, by the way, on our Twitter, on our Instagram, and everything else. But I have the depth chart. Let's look at it. Let's see. Let's react to it. It's before the game this week. So this is the depth chart, unofficial depth chart. We'll kind of look at it here. I'll do it in like sections here so we can look at it. But so you look at the depth chart. We'll start at the top. Yeah, we'll start at the top. Wide receivers. Well, I guess we'll do it like this. Okay, so wide receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick. And then behind Tim Patrick, Isaac Tesla, you got Khalif Raymond. Tom Kennedy is actually higher on the depth chart than Dominic Lovett, but it's okay. He's still on there. Ronnie Bell, Jacoby Keeney James. And they also have Jackson Meeks, which is the nephew of Zadarius Smith.
Yep.
Offensive line, they got Tate Ratledge at right guard, Graham at center, Christian Mahogany, Taylor Decker, who probably Dan Skipper will be playing for. We'll see this week. I think it'll be Giovanni Manu playing for him. I doubt they'll play all the vets. Like Dan Skipper ain't going to play, probably. I don't think. Do you think so? Maybe they will play him. I guess they have to because they don't have another. Who's the other tackle? I guess Jamarco Jones would play a little bit in the preseason game.
Yeah.
So they'll probably play Giovanni Manu. But yeah. Jared Goff, Hendon Hooker is actually listed as the backup here. He's number 2 on the depth chart. And then Kyle Allen. So it's unofficial, but Hendon Hooker is number 2. And then you got running backs, David, Jameer, Craig. And then you have some of the guys they signed. Obviously, Sione Vaki, but Robichuk, Jabari Small, Jacob Sailors, UFL player. I think I like, hey, this is unofficial depth chart. They posted it. But Hendon Hooker at 2 stands out to me. And
I think that's a good one for you.
Tom Kennedy over Dominic Lovett. They were giving TK85 the nod. So.
And TK85 looks good out there. I know it's crazy, and people like constantly, it's like he's just a camp guy every year. But he was actually the last couple of days we were there, he was making some plays.
Yeah. I mean, he's a little.
Can I
the center spot? They got Kingsley, Cologne, and Graham as their 3 centers. Cologne is actually the 3rd guy. Kingsley.
Yeah, again, it's unofficial, so maybe. I don't know. I haven't really noticed Tristan Cologne out there this week.
Yeah, he hasn't really been playing a ton here, but
you know who actually too up there offensively? Colby Sorsdale is done. I didn't see him once at camp today or yesterday. Not once.
Yeah.
I didn't even cross my mind. I didn't see number 75 in any reps. Maybe I could have just missed him and not noticed him, but even if he's out there and I didn't notice him, that means probably not making the biggest of plays. So, or it's good because he's not getting beat, one of the two.
Right.
But I don't know if you noticed him at all out there. I just did not.
Not at all.
I did not even see number 75 personally.
Yeah, I didn't see him either. I don't think there's no injury or nothing. So I think that's just the truth of what's happening with him. And then Broderick Martin's obviously hurt, so he's not out there. But yeah, those two are kind of on that line. Like they got Yodi. Like Yodi's already a better guard than he is. And they had Yodi out there on some plays. So yeah, Yodi. They have too many guards now, man. Like they're upgrading. So unfortunately, might not be a spot for him. But the defense, you got Edge, Aidan, defensive line, Ali McNeil, DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport, Jack Campbell, Anzalone, Amik, DJ Reed, Taron Arnold, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. That's kind of that's a nice 11. I guess when you see it on paper. I mean, Davenport just got to stay healthy. Zadarius would make it a lot better, but that's I like that defense, man. I'll just say that. Obviously, when Aleem gets back healthy. But overall, that's a good solid 11. They got backups, Mitchell Agude. They got Josh Paschal, Ahmed Hassanin, AQM. I would assume he will be in front of Agude, but that's my opinion. Tyleek Williams, Makai Wingo. And then you got some of these other defensive linemen, Isaac Wukwu, Chris Smith, Keith Cooper Jr. is on here. A lot of defensive linemen that they're probably going to have to figure out what's going on with those guys. Miles Adams, Nate Lynn.
That thing was packed, dude.
Yeah, and they have Derek Barnes, Grant Stewart, who actually Grant Stewart's been
So good.
Yeah, he's been making some plays too, so
Yeah.
they like him a lot. But the defense, I was saying, the starting 11 looks good on paper, man. I like Aidan, Aleem, DJ, Marcus, Jack, Alex, Amik, DJ, Taron Arnold, Brian, and Kirby. That's a
Yep.
The defense, man. I know Anzalone's only probably got a year left, but they'll figure that part out. But besides adding Zadarius back, you add Zadarius back, this defense looks really, really good. The secondary, especially Amik, DJ, Terrion, Brian, and Kirby.
Yeah.
And they have Maddox, Ennis, and then they have some other depth guys like Rock Sin, Khalil
Dorsey's going to be back, who's really good.
Yeah,
linebacker wise too. Grant Stewart.
Yep.
Very good. Malcolm Rodriguez as well. Going to be back. We know that in October. Trevor Nowaski looked good too. I'm not just pumping him up just because of Trevor Saginaw Valley, but he had a sack as well today. He had a sack in the scrimmage as well today. I don't know. Anthony Pittman's been good. He's kind of been leading the second unit, kind of the green dot for the second unit. So he's been good as well.
Coach Walk said they said Ahmed is playing some second team. He is. They did have him out there a couple times. They threw him in the fire a little bit, and he's on special teams. He's playing with the second team a little bit. He was kind of dabbling in it, but he hustles. I mean, he hustles. I'll tell you that. You could tell the motor's there, like whether technique or not. That's something he's always going to develop and continue to develop. But motor-wise, he's got it. He's got the motor. Like he has the no quit mentality. So
I think it's going to take time to develop, Jeff. That's all.
They really like him. They really like him a lot. You could tell.
Yeah. You know what, too? I noticed, at least for me, it felt like he's a lot bigger than I expected. He's a big dude.
Man. He is a big dude. He's maybe not the tallest guy, but he's big. And Hudat's Pascal not being around only helps Ahmed. Yes, that's true. He's getting a lot of those reps, so it is beneficial to him. Ben Blue says Grant Stewart low-key underrated.
He is. No, dude, he is. What's crazy too, Jeff, remember today, he was returning kicks. He was back there kick returner. So like they have Grant Stewart literally doing everything. Just finding spots for him to play football because he just brings energy. He's out there screaming, having a good time, making plays, running around the field. Like Grant Stewart is you're gonna hear his name a lot this season. He will make the 53-man, Grant Stewart will. You're not keeping him off it. And he's gonna get snaps.
Yeah, I want to see more Ennis Rakestraw. I do. I haven't really gotten to see a lot of him. He kind of got banged up, but I want to see Ennis. That's a player I kind of have my eye. We'll be there Sunday for training camp, so if anyone's going Sunday, feel free to come hang out with us. But yeah, I want to see Ennis at some point out there. I want to see the kind of step he's taken. Special team, there's nothing really surprising there. I mean, you see it: Jake Bates, Jack Fox, Hogan Hatton. I mean, Cleve Freeman, he's the punt returner and kick returner, so that doesn't.
Jake Bates had a tough day today too. Just throw that out there. He did not kick well. I don't think that's anything to like stress out about though. He just I think was missing kicks.
It's kind of he kind of struggled there in the beginning. He had missed some. I think he missed a couple like 40-yard field goals, and then he made some extra points and he made a field goal later, so he kind of bounced back. I'm not going to worry about it too much with him. He seems like just a gamer anyway. Like when it's game time, he dials in. So
I saw the doc say last year at training camp, he struggled a little bit last year as well.
Yeah, it's kickers. I try not to look too much into it because we've seen kickers have great days or great camps and struggle during the season. So I'm not going to freak out about that. He was fine. Did you showed me this clip? The Ben Johnson in Chicago. You see what's going on in Chicago?
That clip actually that I told you I was sounded concerning. That is a real clip. The one that there was an AI one, I guess, going around. The one that I saw was a real clip. Bleacher Report, Gridiron posted it. If you want to, it's a real clip. This whole thing in Chicago is weird, man. I don't know if it's weird. I don't know how to take it, to be honest. I guess it sounds like Ben Johnson is just holding guys acceptable or accountable, But I don't know. You have a lot of vets in there. Who knows how they're going to take it? The problem is, I actually thought about this today, Jeff. Like Ben Johnson's coaching, kind of. I wonder if he's trying to go about it the Dan Campbell way, where it's, hey, like it's our way or the highway, and you're going to do it right. And if you don't, you're out and you're not playing. You know, Dan's pretty hardcore like that. The only difference is, my opinion is, and I think you have to adjust to it. It's not a bad thing. It's just Dan Campbell played in the league for how long? 10 plus years, right? So he understands the ins and outs of that side of things, to where he's able to go up to players and be like, if you're not going to get this right, you're not playing, right? Like, you're out. And I know Ben's the head coach, but he can't approach it like Dan Campbell, and he has to be able to go about it his own way. It's, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that makes sense to people. It's not a slight at Ben, but it's just more so like, hey, Ben, you can't try and be the hardo that Dan Campbell is, because Dan Campbell has the respect from being not only just a player, but like a gritty player, right? Like, where people, he is just an absolute hoss of a human being that played in the NFL for that long. Where Ben, like, hey, you got to go there and be kind of the nice guy, whether you like it or not, right? You have to be the funny Ben Johnson, have a good time. And I know he wants to be serious and be taken serious as a head coach. It's just, you see it all the time in the NFL. People are putting examples, actually. Coach Walk with Josh McDaniels, Matt Patricia. Like, Matt Patricia, you can't come here and be Bill Belichick. You can't. You have to be Matt Patricia.
Yeah,
and I think that's what Ben might be running into.
I think there's some things that could be fair. I look at him chewing out players as nothing new. He was doing that in Detroit when he first got here. So I think that is who he is. Like, he's a perfectionist. But yeah, if you're trying to like have the same approach as Dan Campbell, I agree with you. You're not Dan Campbell.
I do think, though, as an OC, you're able to do that because you have Dan Campbell. To where, as the head coach in Chicago, I don't know if you have to.
But you got to be who you are. If you're a perfectionist, like, you're a perfectionist.
Yeah, but I think as a head coach, like, you have to build that trust with the players. Like, Dan, for year one, I'm sure, was building trust with guys, bringing guys in, building trust, working with them. You know, that is just kind of my thought on it. I don't know.
Well, here's a clip, the clip you're referring to, DJ Moore. Let's take a listen to this.
Scenery with the crew in here. How's it felt so far through the early portion of training camp with Ben Johnson?
Uncomfortable has been the main thing. Just them trying to change the culture around here, and they did it fast, and you can tell how we practice and go about our business.
What about it has changed so much in terms of how you practice? What's the thing that jumped out to you right away?
The intensity. If you mess up, you get out of there. You get one chance. If you a double offender, then you ain't gonna be in on that play for the rest of camp. It feel like.
So we saw a lot of that in the chat. People mentioning Luther Burden in there. You know, rookie receiver coming in, had been dealing with a little bit of injury, and Coach Johnson, after a play, tossed him out and made it watch there. Did you offer any counsel to your rook on that one? What'd you tell him after that?
I actually didn't see it because I was coming back or getting talked to. But I did hear him yelling at somebody, and I didn't know it with Luther. But any advice is that you just got to stay in your playbook and know the exact details, because if the playbook say +2 from the hash and you -1 from the hash, then you're wrong and you're going to have to get out. If he going to give you a second chance, you're going to re-huddle it, go back out there. If you do it again, line up in the same way, you're definitely coming out.
That sounds like that perfectionist. Definitely.
Yeah.
But you got to think you got to think what he's walking into. Like, you got to think about that too. Like, a lot of dysfunction, a lot of like no accountability. Like, he probably knew going in there, like, this place, these guys have a ton of bad habits that we have to correct. Like, the Lions, having Dan Campbell helps because the guys are all in line. Everyone's like on the same page. Now he's going to a whole other team that's like free for all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why I think it was so easy for Ben to step in as the OC, to where I don't know if right away, like, Ben probably was a perfectionist. His last 2 years, he was probably more vocal than he was his first couple of years, right? He probably wasn't.
As a person.
Yeah. And I think the problem with Ben doing it the way he is, maybe in Chicago, at least how it sounds with DJ Moore, to where they're like, it's a shocking change, to where Coach Walk, again, perfectly said it. Like, he's leading without everyone behind him right now. And you have to figure out a way in Chicago there to get like Dan Campbell did it so good in Detroit. That man set the culture, and there was not one person that was out of line in that culture, right? Like, everyone got behind him, and he was able to set it, and he had a voice right away, and he said, this is the way we're doing it. I think Ben's done that, but does it feel like everyone is in line with that? No.
Sounds like DJ Moore is.
Well, DJ Moore is, but there's a reason that there are reports of, like, offense isn't looking great. Guys are yelling, you know, there's these guys getting ripped. It's because guys aren't in line, right? And it's like, Listen, dude, we saw today Dan yell at someone, but how often do we ever hear reports like that constantly coming out of Detroit? You don't. You never do.
He's had 4 years. 4 or 5 years.
I know, but maybe year 1 and year 2 you did, but I don't know if there was ever anything to where it was just like constantly like Dan's having to take these players out. Like you're talking about Luther Burden, a first-round draft pick. Or sorry, maybe second, like early second.
Second round.
Like look at Isaac Tesla this year. Like he comes in. Like, has there been any reports of Isaac Tesla just not getting it? No, there's the culture that's set and everyone's in line. So exactly. I think Ben has to figure that out first before, in my opinion, before it's like we're going to start benching guys or taking guys out of reps. And
I think it's essential to do that. I like that's where me and you view it differently. I think
maybe
culture, you have to get on people's asses. Like you can't be like, hey buddy, it's okay. Like you can mess up and we'll just keep going.
Yeah, but hearing that, like you mess up, you're done for the rest of camp.
Yeah.
One time you mess up once.
Yes.
What if I have an ad read and I mess it up once and we're like, we're out, you're done, you're fired.
No, well,
that's not good culture to set because that makes people scared to even make mistakes. Like in Detroit, one thing that they always talk about, and you know what? Who was actually saying it? One of the quarterback coaches. Someone was saying it. Like, we want you to make mistakes in training camp so we can teach it, you can learn, and we can get better. Now, yes, if you do it 4, 5, 6, 7 times, you're probably done. You have to be able to learn these after 1 or 2 mistakes. But to be like, hey, after 1 mistake, you're done, no chance. I don't know, man. And if that's what's going,
he said you do it twice.
Okay,
out.
Then that's a little bit more fair. That's more fair. But I don't know if it's like, hey, is it a good culture to be able to be like, even if you make a second mistake and you're the guys in that building are scared to make mistakes, that you're going to be able to get better? No. And obviously, I'm not in the building, so I don't know. I get where you're coming from. I do think there's just a little line to toe there with it, in my opinion.
I guess it's how you look at it. Like I do better with those type of I personally, I'll just speak for myself, and people are different. I know like there's people that do better with like more patient. I do better like I do better when it's like put up or shut up. Like because then I perform. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am. Like if we started when we first started Crunch Time, if we brought in an intern, like I wouldn't want that intern to like make a bunch of mistakes. Like it's go time. We're just starting this. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I also would like to like, hey, if we bring someone in, I know he's going to make mistakes. I'm going to teach him. And as I'm teaching him, okay, if he makes a mistake again, hey, I'm reminding you, hey, let's tighten this up. If he keeps making it, all right, you're done. But if hey, I'm going to give you a chance. Like if we're bringing you in, I understand you don't know how the business, you don't know how my offense works. You don't know how my social media works. You don't know how our show works. So if you come in, it's guaranteed you're probably going to make a few mistakes. Not one, a few. Like that's a fact. And why are we acting like the Ben Johnson offense is the easiest offense in the NFL? And hey, you're going to make one mistake. No, you're going to make a couple, man. It's one of the most complex offenses in the NFL. Maybe Ben he's just the culture in Detroit. He's so used to guys like Amon-Ra and all of them just being so dialed in and so good at their jobs to where it's a little bit of a shock for both sides.
Hey, well, speaking of ad reads, I have to tell you about our friends over at, hey, speaking of that, allow me to not make a mistake like I did 2 weeks ago. Let me tell you about our friends over at Comer and Cross because they are the great sponsor of Crunch Time Sports. And by the way, they got their one-day installation sale, which you need to contact them and figure out how they can help you because they can help you in many different ways. You're staring at your crack-stained garage floor. They can take care of it. They take care of more than that. They can transform your patio, your pool deck, your basement, even your driveway, and they move the stuff out for you. So again, you call the number 248-834-3488 or book your free estimate at comercross.com. We work with companies we trust, and Comer and Cross is one of those companies you can trust. They'll be there for you. They'll take care of you, and they'll do the best job. So contact them. Allow them to. While summer's we're late July, about to be August. The weather's nice. You want to get work done. Contact them, and they will make sure you are taken care of. And let them know Crunch Time Sports sent you. How about that? Do that as well. Shout out to Comer and Cross. Let's get to Mailbag because we have about 11 minutes of the show left. So drop your questions as it relates to training camp or Detroit Lions or life questions or anything else related to. So you can go ahead and drop those as well.
I saw someone on there. Demond Dice is in there talking about Jalen Hurts. Craig just responds, Hurts is a fullback. I've never heard that before, but that's so funny.
Yeah, that he's definitely not a fullback. Al says I actually like Hurts. He wins 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years as well. Can't argue that. It's not as simple as he has weapons. Every good team has weapons. I mean, that's a fair point.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah, finds
top
ways to
10.
Win, he does. He just finds ways to win, which that's why I do respect Jalen Hurts. I think Jared Goff's a better quarterback, but he wins games. So, that is what it is. Can't hate you for liking Jalen Hurts, man. It's hard not to. He's a great guy. I would take him to be my franchise quarterback every single time. Definitely. MC3 Houdat says you can't talk to rookies and vets the same way. Well, I mean, that's fair, and I don't think you see reports of him chewing out like Joe Tooney, for example. Like Joe Tooney's probably not making the same mistakes that Luther Burden III's making. I don't know. I'm just saying that, but I have no idea. Ghetto Boy Juan says Jalen Hurts is top 10, but he's on the back of 10.
I agree. I think he's like 9-10, which is fine. It's a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't put him any higher, probably though.
Put him as well, to be honest with you. Craig says he throws 12 times a game. Yeah. I mean, that's when you have Saquon Barkley, necessarily you don't have to have games where you throw a bunch of times. So, it is what it is. He has had games where he throws more and he does play well, but I get what you're saying. He doesn't ask to do a lot in that offense. Trey says, Mailbag, what do you guys think the chances of Judon or Z get signed? Both. I think there is I've already talked about my confidence level kind of falling off a little bit when it comes to re-signing Za'Darius. I think it's probably higher than them signing Matthew Judon. I think Za'Darius is a higher percentage, but I would say probably 20%, 25% for Za'Darius, 15% for Judon.
I think to sign either one, I'd go like 40%. I think one of them happens.
I like that. Just a fan, by the way. Thank you for the $5. Didn't get to it earlier. In honor of Kool-Aid Booner, speaking into existence.
Let's go, baby. I need to start. If people want to start reaching out to me, I need to start getting ideas of how to make the Kool-Aid chugs a little bit better. So I will take all requests or ideas with that.
Ben Blue says, Mailbag, which bust quarterback from the first round of the 2021 draft do you think was the least to blame for them becoming a bust? Ooh. I'd personally say Mac Jones because post-year one, his situation got worse in New England. So here we go, 2021 NFL draft. That was the draft where there was I think Trey Lance was in that draft, actually.
I mean, if it's Trey Lance is... so what's the question?
Yeah,
Which
Zach Wilson? So there's Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones. We'll just stick with the first round, guys.
Who do you think? What did he say?
Has the least to blame for them becoming a bust? Basically, they were just in a bad situation. I actually don't hate the Mac Jones one, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think Trey Lance. I like Trey Lance coming out. I was wrong on him. He's not.
You can't say bad. Trey Lance because Brock Purdy stepped in.
Bad. He was bad.
Zach Wilson, maybe you can argue him. I mean, the man had 25 interceptions.
Yeah, he was bad too.
Oh, not 25, but in his career, he has 25. I'm looking at it here. That threw me off.
He was bad too. And then so I think Mac Jones would be the best one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad. Mac Jones had like 20-something TDs his rookie year. Justin Fields. Yeah, I don't know about the. Yeah. Spencer, by the way, says, can we please continue to pursue Kaiser White? I don't trust Anzel's holdout, and White is a dog. Yeah, I you know what? I'm open to that. I like Kaiser White. He's good depth.
I will say, shout out Spencer. I will say, I don't think I think the Anzo's playing and no contract. I don't think there's anything to worry about, to be honest.
What do you mean?
He said he doesn't trust. Yeah, doesn't trust Anzo's holdout. I think Anzo's just in a spot to where like his agent needs to be like, dude, you need to play. If you miss games, you're not going to get a big contract next year, even if it's not with the Lions. It'll be harder.
Xavier, who wins in a street fight, Ben Johnson or Booner?
Are there weapons?
You should be able to take Ben Johnson, dude.
I don't know, dude. Ben Johnson was talking one time about like he lifts and like his weight, and he was talking. Remember he played football he played at North Carolina. He's not a bum. I didn't play D1 football. I didn't play. Who cares though? I didn't play D1 football.
Yeah,
I'll probably take Ben Johnson. He's probably just like 100 times stronger than me. I'll call it what it is.
Hey, it's very humble of you. Purple Prince, Mailbag, thoughts on the Packers this year? I'm seeing a lot of hype in the media, but I honestly don't see it. They could finish last in the division. I agree with you, Purple Prince. I don't know where the hype's coming from. Is it former Packers players? Because I don't see what they see. What the hell are we talking about? What's going on with the Packers? What did I miss something? Matthew Golden?
I didn't see any hype.
Their cornerback room is trash, and they got a lot of wide receiver twos. Potentially wide receiver one and Matthew Golden. I think they're going to be fine. They're a playoff team, but I don't think it's like top. Oh, watch out for the Packers. They can win it all. No, not at all. No. Get a boy one Mailbag. Who wins offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year?
Defensive rookie of the year will be why am I drawing a blank right now? Abdul Carter.
I agree with that.
Offensive rookie of the year, Ashton Gentry. Or T-Mac, man.
You know what? No, I'll go defensive rookie of the year. I'll go Travis Hunter.
I think he's going to play more offense, man. I really do.
I'll go Travis Hunter. And then offensive rookie of the year, I'll go Ashton Gentry. Who dat? Mailbag, how did you become friends? This guy wouldn't stop leaving me alone. That's the problem. Hi.
Just kept showing up to his doorstep.
No, I'm kidding. Booner came to Woodward, and we started doing shows together. We started doing weekend shows, and it just clicked from there. We did college football shows, me, him, and Adam. And then I actually did his podcast, and then we just clicked right away. And then after that, started hanging out, bullshitting in the studio. And I was like, this guy's not too bad. All right, this guy's pretty cool.
This guy's sick.
Guy's pretty cool, man. Pretty chill. Invited me to be on his podcast.
With this guy.
I'm honored. I was very honored, dude. Reached out. Want to talk some ball with me. So I said, I like this guy. All right. Cool guy.
That is a throwback, though. We did my first year at Woodward, did the college football show. Did I tell you the origin story behind doing that? Me hopping on that show?
No, you just said what? No, you didn't.
So I got hired in like March or something, and I was like, I got to do something. I was doing the bet show. You remember the bet show?
Yeah.
Shout out the boys on the bet show. Scott Grisdon, absolute legend, beer man as well.
Yeah.
I was doing that show with them, and I was like, dude, I got to do something for football season. And I remember you and Adam were going to do that Saturday show. Dude, I think I called Adam or text Adam 30 straight times, like 30 straight days with like no response. And he was like my boss, right? Like it was like, I was just like, I'm trying to make, and then I texted him and said, I got a content idea. I pitched him. You guys know Bear that was on game day?
Yeah.
I was like, can I be your guys' Bear on the game day shows? And he was like, I love it. You're in. and then what's crazy is I thought I was just going to do that. And I was nervous, dude. Remember, you've done radio and all this stuff. I've never done anything. My podcast was like in the basement of a house, like never did much. I come in, Adam says, come in Saturday, do the show with you guys. Adam goes, do you want to do the betting stuff and the Bear stuff for the Lions game day stuff? And I'm like, at the time I said, whoa, this is big. Like, I was like, yeah. He was like, coming for a segment on Sunday. I go, okay. Only person I've ever met is you and Adam at that moment. Like, I didn't know anyone, no one. I come in the next Sunday. Adam texts me, I'm sick. Maz and Sticker filling in. Mind you, before Woodward, I was a fan. Like, I was watching. I was like, oh my, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I sit in first segment. Maz just goes, Booner, you're in the whole show, all 2 hours. And I go, oh, that was it, bro. And then after that, I did every Saturday and Sunday. I was a rookie. I never. That was my first time in the building at Woodward. Never stepped a foot in. Never did content.
Arnold. You just got thrown out in the fire.
Never did content. It's like what's his name? Who's the dude that never played football in his life and in Philly?
Oh, Jordan Mailata.
I was like Jordan Mailata. Never did content. Never nothing. It was just like Adam's like, come on. And I just like stepped in one weekend and I've never done anything. I was just like, how do you feel?
Good.
It's funny, bro.
No, yeah.
Rest was history.
You were a natural, dude. It was a good memories, man. Good memories. I appreciate you all, man. It was a great show.
I had fun. That was a fun
great
show.
Appreciate Nolan joining the program as well. Well, tomorrow's the doc day, so be there for the doc. You're not going to want to miss the doc. He's fired up. Talk to him today. He's feisty in a good way.
Yeah.
He's passionate. He's very opinionated, and tomorrow I think we'll have a lot of opinions. So you're going to want to be there tomorrow. Come hang out with us. You guys,
Jeff, we should wear polos tomorrow for the doc.
Let's do it. I'll be down with that. Let's wear polos.
Throw them off a little bit.
Let's do it. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Take care, everybody.
Love you guys.
Stay blessed. Peace.
Peace.